All right. I've played against this guy a couple times. I don't mind playing against the same people multiple times. I think it's actually pretty decent to do so because like you like to see people like progress as they play a couple games. Obviously, like it's not quite as good as like this is not quite as good as like one-on-one like solo instruction. I don't really offer that. Uh, I'd rather do that in person anyways if I was ever to do that. But this is actually not, like a bad way to learn, just to look at like what your mistakes are, because playing against someone that's significantly stronger than you will actually, you'll get punished for mistakes and you'll learn not to make them. And you'll also learn how to exploit you will also learn to exploit like other people's mistakes as well. That's the whole kind of like point of this thing. Let me actually go to online go. This is going to take a little bit, but I'm actually playing. Okay, I've already got it there. So I need to pop out. I do actually need to pop out the thing right now. The chat right now, wherever my YouTube chat thing is. So pop out chat. There we go. Please give this stream a like. That would really help me out. Really am trying to get more people to watch these streams. It's just more viable for me if more people actually watch these streams. I actually haven't done this for quite a while. Played one in this manner for quite a while. So we'll see how this actually works for me. Trying to put a little bit of pressure on this stone, but it's probably not the best way to play right now. Handicap 8 is, like, when you're playing above, like, 5 or 6, I do think you have to pull off some, kind of weird stuff to actually win. Because otherwise, it's really tough to win at that kind of handicap. I'm actually just testing things out as well. That's probably not a great move here. Trying to connect the two groups, because like I'm still kind of looking at this game as like someone who's playing regularly, because like like in a regular game you would look at this group as very weak because of this formation in this. So you're trying to solidify these things, but it may not actually work. I mean, obviously with a similar ranked opponent it wouldn't work well at all. But even here, like, it's definitely not the most optimal move. That's actually okay. I'm actually going to block downward here. I'm trying to at least base one of them right now. That's not a good move. I'm not going to answer that one. Yeah, these kind of plays right now are just not great, obviously, because it's going to make these 3 stones very, very weak. And those 3 stones are a little bit too big for me to sack. I would definitely block the other way if I was black. There's no territory for white now at this phase, which is pretty problematic for white. I mean, black hasn't gained too much territory either, but there is a really weak group over here. I don't think that's a move I would actually like do right now. That's fine. He can't push up here, obviously. Doing this is really like I'm basically having to find ways to disrupt. This group isn't actually alive yet, but I can always connect on 03 and then play something like 05 if I really wanted an eye, which I don't really care right now, so I'm not going to do that. But still, you can do that. You can definitely do that. I am making this group very, very weak right now, but when you're giving 8 stones, one of your groups is going to be extremely weak. That's just how things work. Like one or more of your groups are going to be very, very weak if you're giving 8 stones. That's just how reality works, unfortunately. There is the double cut on both sides here. So I have to do something about this. I don't really know what to do about this, though. I wonder if he'll respond to this. If he responds to that, that would be awesome. But if not, might be a bit of a problem for me. If he doesn't respond, I do have the ability to take away the corner, I guess. He's trying to kill this group, but I'm not really afraid of him killing this group. Well, it's not really trying to kill this group, I guess. But I do have to make this group alive somehow or other. I think extending this basically makes it alive. There's not much I can do to break out of this. Remember, like, this group is very, very weak here. So I was waiting for that. That's also not the right move because he can just Atari this first. Okay, does this actually work is the question. I don't know, that doesn't actually work. Shoot. So if I do this, I come down this way, he can actually Atari this first and then extend that way. And that doesn't actually work, so I have to do that. It's fine. Don't know. I don't think this works for him. These are like simple, like consecutive cuts. These are definitely simple consecutive cuts that you just need to look for in the DDK realm because it does actually hurt you a lot. This group, more or less, against a similar strength opponent would pretty much be dead. But I'm not too worried about it yet. Because black at this rank, a lot of black players will make the mistake of actually Atariing this right now, which would be a very bad move right now. Not going to answer that. You always have the option of coming in here and invading the corner, but I do think I need to take care of this group first. I think that's, I personally think I can just leave it this way and it's fine for the most part. He can actually cut here. And that would be a problem for me. I mean, cut the wrong place, but yeah. No, that's not good. That actually makes this group alive, and that's irrelevant now because that group's alive. So he has built up a lot over here. I'm going to take the corner over here first. There's a lot of thickness up here. And also, like, if need be, I can actually play L1 now. I can actually play L1 if in an emergency, if this group is going to die. So there's also that. But he has a lot of Moyo influence here, which I really can't. It's going to be very, very hard for me to actually fight off. That's a little weird. But okay. This is pretty dangerous for me because I'm giving him a lot here. We're going to have to just leave that alone because I'm giving him way too much territory here, and I won't be able to make it back from that. We're going to have to do like random invasions that usually won't work, but maybe it'll work. I mean, when you're doing handicap, I would actually go up top on this particular invasion, but um, there's several ways to play this. Actually, he can just cut this stone off, and he would actually have enough points to actually win. That's a really bad move. You really don't want white to be able to do that. You're simply giving up a little too much here. Yes, there are points here, but in the middle, obviously, but you're giving a lot of white a lot of opportunities down here, which you don't really want to do. And that destroys your entire bottom territory, is the other thing. Here you can actually, well, I don't know if you can do it anymore, but you could have actually done played here and then wedge through like this, and that would be a problem. I don't think you can do it anymore though. Now that actually opens up the chance for that again, but I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore it because I kind of have to. And this is never a good idea. This is actually never a good idea. Um, like I said, you can wedge here. I don't actually no, can you? I'm not really sure if you can anymore. You might not be able to. Well, you can't wedge here anymore. Maybe you can. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave. Actually, I shouldn't leave that there. I should do this. Now I don't think you can definitely not wedge there anymore if I do this. Which is what I'm going to do. Because now he has maybe a little bit of problem over here. He really doesn't, but maybe. A lot of points in here, but I do have a lot of options to like kill this territory. I mean, not a lot of options, but some options. Some options. I'm just gonna leave that there. These stones aren't really that big right now. What's bigger is if I do this. I need to get rid of some of this bottom territory, and I have to look out for this territory here. That's not a good move. You should play. You're giving up the bottom territory by doing that, and you should actually play J17 here. You should definitely double Hane there. Should most definitely double Hane that one. There is a lot of territory in here, probably more than I can afford to give him, because I don't have a huge amount of territory right now. That's not a good move, because he can play, yeah, he can play that. Don't know how I'm going to get rid of this territory. I don't know if I can get rid of the territory in here. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. That's still a lot of points for me to get through here, you know. I mean, I've taken a lot of points down Neath, but this is still very, very big. And that could definitely be a problem. Just going to take this right now. Because my purpose here is not actually, well, if he's gonna give me if he's gonna go ahead and give me the Sente, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, I guess. Because that is still like 10, 15 points there. Can I do this? I don't think I can, right? No, because that's an Atari. So I can't actually do that. This doesn't really work, by the ways. I just want to see how he actually reacts to this. I'm missing the S7 move here. Also, I think there's a huge amount of problems if I do this. If I do that, I don't think this works at all. Whatever. No, it doesn't work. He can go here first, I think. Yeah, it doesn't work. That, I don't know if there's the correct move or not. So that might have just killed him. He wants the double Atari here, but I'm just going to connect this. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem here because of that. I can retreat here. I think I will. But I think going across the top is actually Sente right now for him. Because I can't, yeah, I can't really do anything here. But that actually does give me this. This ends up being okay, because I can probably, well, I can't really kill those two stones, but I am going to, so I'm going to come down this way. Ooh. Okay. That doesn't kill him because he can just do that. But I may be able to just kill these 3 stones. I think I can. That's a pretty big loss for him. Actually, can I? I don't know if I can. No, I can. I'm good. This is also really big. I don't know if I've actually won this game or not. He has a lot of territory in here. It's a lot of territory in there. And it's territory I unfortunately cannot actually get rid of. This is pretty much dead. I'm going to do that just to see what he does, but the thing is, like, I can't really get rid of this territory in here, but I've actually gotten a lot of territory on the sides. Like I said, I'm not very good at counting. So I've said before, I'm not very good at counting if I don't actually count, obviously. But I have actually gotten a lot of territory here. Yeah, I think this is fine because he can't go that way. That's not a good move. They're just giving me points. I don't have to answer that. This is actually pretty big. It secures that that group's actually alive. First of all, it's very, very important that that group's really alive. And, you know, it's a couple of points as well. This is, you essentially have to do this. You can't come down here because he has this move. Here you, well, actually, no, this is fine. I actually do believe there is something here. If he comes down here and comes down that way, that might be somewhat troublesome. But we'll see. We'll see. I think he's probably won this game because like he has too many points here, and I don't really have an answer for those points. Those points are very hard to deal with. I couldn't like kill his middle points there. I need to be a little bit careful about this, but not too overly cautious. Where else do I go now? It's not really a point because you can just go the other way. I guess this is okay. Also, blocking here is probably fine as well. I eventually do have to take this. Atari, this is fine. This I do have to connect. That I do have to answer. but it doesn't actually get him anything. This you just connect. Then if you get Taris, you take these stones and you're fine. Yeah, go ahead. There's definitely more points in here. There's definitely way more points in here. Let's go ahead and finish the game because there isn't really a reason why you wouldn't finish this game. Tari, there's nothing there. Come up this way. And block these points. There's also this. Now there's definitely more points here. You do need to actually play these points. It is quite important that you play all these points out. Like, there are actual points here. You know, the thing is, I don't know how closer... Is there anything here? Atari... No, I don't think so. Anyways, you know, like, if the game's close, you do need to pay more attention to the very end steps. Because you can end up losing quite a couple of points if you just pass on everything. I mean, just finish. Like, you got to finish the game. You got to finish the game. There are things you have to take. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass, I guess. I mean, I was ahead by a lot more than I thought. Like I said, I'm pretty bad if I don't actually count. But we'll go back and review this game because, like, the last couple of moves were really not that. The last few moves are not going to be irrelevant. I think one of the things that would actually improve my game a lot is if I actually learn how to count right. If I actually learn how to count right, I wouldn't get like so desperate moves. So this is a 8-stone handicap game. That's fine. So here I probably wouldn't play this. I would probably just, not that, but I would play this or probably this. I'm going to try to attack these two stones. I got my stones all around me. This stone is weak, these two stones are weak. That forces these two stones to jump out or something. And then, you know, I can just separate these two groups to attack both these two groups. When you're playing a really high handicap game, you do want to, like when you're playing like a 9-stone game, unless he invades the 3-3, almost every single, just about every single group that he has is going to be about weak. That white has is about weak. Is weak, so you want to take away white's base and attack him. And then when he actually moves out, you know, you can actually make territory as he moves out. He can't really attack you because you're too strong all the way around. That's actually not too bad. This is not a good move, by the way, but it is interesting. I mean, like, that's fine as a thing. I think realistically, like, that would probably be the right answer. But I can't, like, because I'm giving such a high handicap, I can't let him just kill those two stones like that. So I'm going to come down like this, go up like this. This move is unnecessary. I mean, like, yeah, that move just doesn't really need to be played right now. I can't cut you in any way. Like, I can't really cut you in any way if you just, like, you know, go somewhere else. Like, if you go here, right, this cut doesn't work because you can just, it's just a ladder that way. So when this is all said and done, I would probably actually play something like this. I would either play something like this or try to attack directly and then force white to play this. Force white to try to make two eyes in here and then get territory as white's trying. I do not have a beginner's tutorial with basic rules. You can look at like Go books for that. There are plenty of I think there's plenty of online YouTube videos for that. I teach more like people who are getting more into the intermediate stage, like the DDQs that are moving more into the SDQ stage. I'm not very good at teaching beginners. I do, like, if a beginner gives me a game and asks me to review it, I will review it. I've done a couple of those, but I don't have any tutorials. So here I would definitely block this way. You know why? Because these three stones are weak. It doesn't really matter if white plays like this. You know, like you can just kill these three stones, and even if white takes territory over here, like killing these three stones right now, I feel like would actually be a pretty good trade for white taking your corner. And you can play like this as well. You can even opt to make this trade in the corner, although I would not do that right now. That probably wouldn't be good for black, actually. You can do that. I mean, white would be in a pretty bad position here as well, because this group is still really weak. This group is alive, but not completely alive. If he opts to do this, then getting this a huge amount of territory would be pretty good for black. So if I was black, I would actually just do this. This is actually, in this case, I think this is fine for black, because yes, he might destroy your potential over here, but just taking the territory over here I think is fine. And also, like, this group is very weak here. So if he does something like this, you could just overall just attack this group. So while that might not be, while like this trade that I just did may not actually be that favorable in an even game, in a handicap 8 game, if you can secure that much territory and attack this other group, I think you're fine for the most part. I don't think blocking this way, I actually don't think blocking this way is the right answer. Yeah, I don't think blocking this way I just don't think blocking this way is the right answer, honestly, because it lets me connect these two groups and it kind of settles this. Not really, but sort of. I probably would not play this right away. You can't you can't come up here this way. I mean, what you could do is you could play this, and you could force me to try to get out here or live. But I'm gonna go here, go here, go here. I think this is fine for the most part. I would not do that. I would, if I was black, I would probably just do this. I mean, yes, like I could do this, but black would actually have to do this or something to make sure this group is alive. I would come out this way. And what I would do is, like, I would formulate my Moyo here as he tries to make this group alive. And then I would be able to get like a lot of territory down here. Attacking stones isn't really about, a lot of times attacking stones isn't about killing stones. It's actually just about building your own influence so you can make territory elsewhere. So this move was not a good move because that allows me to go out other ways. Here, that might have been better. This might have been better, but I decided just to go with the attachment just to see how he reacts. Here, that's going to be instant. Once I do this, you have to Atari this. I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to counter Atari and let you do this because this is dead. So I can't actually let you take the stone. So I would have to connect. Then you can come up this way. And this is good because this group isn't actually alive yet. right? This group isn't actually alive yet. I mean, if I do this, this is alive. But if I do this and you just do something like this, then this is not a good thing for white. Like this is a very, very small group that I got to be alive, and I gave you a lot of influence over here to make more territory. Remember, like the whole point is like you just need more territory than the other guy to win. You don't need to kill all the stones. That's fine as well. Atari here, extend. That's not a good move. I mean, you should just extend this. Obviously, I'm going to do that. Come up this way and take that. I mean, I've destroyed your I've basically destroyed your entire bottom here at this point. But you still have a lot of strong stuff. I would still kind of attack this group, either by doing this or going down here. Probably by doing this. I would attack this group right now, but you can also kind of just, secure your corner over here as well. That's really kind of unnecessary. I know you're trying to build a Moyo here. But if you're going to try to do that, I mean, you should try to solidify this side first by attacking this group. Remember, like, you have to attack, like, when you have a lot of thickness and I have a weak group, you got to take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, then you're wasting your influence. And it costs you points to get that influence. A lot of the ways I win these handicap games is because the weaker player doesn't know how to use influence. So, like, I'm always, like, willing to trade them influence for territory because they don't really know how to use the influence. Like, if I was playing against another Dan player, I wouldn't be as willing to trade the territory for influence because they can actually use that influence to make more territory. I'm basically doing this because I'm kind of afraid that, like, I'm afraid of this group being attacked. I would not have actually answered that if I was black. I would have probably just, like, secured the corner or something, honestly, if I was black. This group isn't really in danger. You can play e2 at any time, and if white plays e2, I mean, you can always just come up top. So, not a big deal. That's just one of those reaction moves that I know that black will probably answer, so I'm okay with doing f2. I'm going to try to solidify this group now. It's getting a little too weak from the pressure from both sides. You can do this, by the way. Me personally, as white, I'm probably just going to be willing to sacrifice those points to actually, like, come out here. But you can still attack. You can still attack this group even if I come out here. So if I was black, I would probably just take those stones first. It is a lot of points here for you to do that, and you still have the option to attack this group later because it doesn't really have two eyes yet. So that's what I would probably do as black. Because obviously if I do like, this or something, you can just come out this way. And now this group is not alive and this stone is really weak. So if you cut here, you force me to do something like this. You can also just play this way as well. And that would even be worse for white because this whole group is just dead. So cutting here is key here right now. I would probably have to do this. Yes, white is alive, but then black can do this, and now, like, this entire upper influence is black's. So cutting here, like, right now is a key move because there's so many moves here. Like, at the least, you can actually get the 3 stones down here and continue to actually attack white. Or actually, no, just do this. Continue to attack white on the outside. And, like, since black can actually do this, you can actually just kill this group down here. So definitely, like, look, like, when you have a series of big cuts like this, look for consecutive cuts in Ataris. Because sometimes, like, they are really crucial. That's also a pretty big mistake. If you would just take this. White has to actually repair. I would probably do this first and then repair. But this, like, since you actually have this, like, this group's not really in any danger, so you can just cut here. So I would definitely take this first, because that does force white to like white to tiger's mouth, and then you can just come up this way. I'm going to take that. That solidifies the group. You still get the influence, but it's not nearly as good as what it was before. And plus, like I said later, like if I get desperate on this group, I can just throw in here as well. I'm going to take the corner here. That's fine. Here, this is not something you would answer. Here you would just secure another corner, because the most I can do is Atari this, Atari that, do that. And you're giving up a couple of points in the corner, sure, but something like R14 is going to be a lot bigger. I mean, I guess that response, I would probably do this, honestly. Just secure my territory over here, because at this point, black's still ahead by a whole lot. So, like, you could just do that as well. You could just do that. I mean, I would probably try to fight like this or something. But if white just wanted to make eyes, I mean, at this point, as black, I would be more than happy just to do this, because I just have a lot more territory. This isn't too bad. Here, you would definitely just come up this way. Actually, I would probably do this. There's not too much room in expansion for black. And if you just do this, like black simply just has a lot more territory than white does right now. Because just like this side plus this side is probably enough to get black the win. And plus you have a lot of potential in the middle as well. This generally I don't favor, because you're kind of giving me the bottom here. This actually works out okay for you, pretty well for you, because I kind of did this wrong. I think here, this would have been way more problematic if I had played this way. I could have done this as well. Trade that. I don't even know if this would work, actually, though, is the problem. There's actually quite a few problems for it, but like, I did this. I'm going to invade here. This is not a good invasion. I would definitely just go over top. Like this. There's relatively few ways for white to actually make two eyes here. Relatively few ways for white to actually make two eyes here. No, actually, no, that's not good, because you can cut this way. I still don't really see how you can make two eyes here. Or if you want to just solidify this moyo, you can just do that. I mean, there's still very little way for white to actually make two eyes here. So I would probably just go over top. And plus, if you go over top, you're kind of solidifying this this huge territory as well. Going this way is a little bit more defensive. It does let white jump out, and letting white jump out does actually let white break into this territory. You're seeing like the big like difference in points here, but that's assuming you can actually kill white. Attacking white here, I think like going over here is probably the best. I would say probably like doing that's probably the best idea, because as you're attacking white, if you don't kill white, at least you get the territory over here. Gonna take on bottom. Yeah, here you pretty much have to answer this. You don't want white just to like basically be able to live just by playing here. This is definitely better. Go like this, because if black plays over here, white's not quite alive yet. Because white's not going to do that. If he lets you take that, then he's got problems down here. Come that way. Come that way. So before you do this, you have the option to do this. This is just really hard for me to deal with. I can try going this way, but I don't think it would work. Like, essentially, I don't really know what white would actually do with this. Because like we've discussed earlier, white can't actually kill black here. White can't actually kill black here, so white has a big problem. Because now all these stones are actually trapped. But now since I think this option, I like this option may not be here like at this point, because I have this, and then I can just kill you like that. So letting me get this move kills a liberty, so now that's not really an option anymore. Now this becomes an option, like this actually becomes an option again at this point. Even with this, this just gets really, this is just really, really dicey for white. None of these things work. You would have to do this. And if you really look at that, there's just so much trapped in here. I don't think there's a way for this to actually live. So like this kind of attempted disconnect and wedge was always there. Like usually, like I know usually in tutorial games, like teachers don't actually recommend you do something like this. But when you're really, really, really thick on the outside, right? When you're super, super thick on the outside, those things do become an option. If you're not thick on the outside, definitely don't do that. But if you're super thick on the outside, it does become an option sometimes. And you just have to look for them. I don't think this is an option anymore. This is pretty problematic for. That's really problematic for white if I do this though. So there's a kill move down here now. So it's still kind of an option, but maybe not that great of an option. There's also other moves like this you have to consider. But that would probably not work either. So yeah, like white just has a lot of problems in this kind of shape over here. There's a lot of fighting, but white has a lot of problems because of this like wedge later on. Now this is not an option anymore because now if you do this and there's a double Atari here. This is like a lot of the reason I actually did this move. This move is pretty big, first of all, but a lot of the reason I did this move is because like it takes out this cut here. That's definitely a wrong move. You should definitely just play this. That's the only move I can make. You don't want to play that because that gives the rest of the side away, and you definitely want to double Hane here. White cannot actually do this because there's a double Atari here. So you definitely want to double Hane there. Like when there's a bunch of cuts, this is something that just comes from experience and practice reading. When there's a bunch of cuts, look at the cuts and see if there's like consecutive Ataris or double Ataris, because a lot of times there will be. This is where the Colossus method of him like just connecting cuts, that's where that becomes really useful, especially for weaker players. You shouldn't always do that, but like you do have to practice reading like consecutive cuts and Ataris here. It will help your game a lot, trust me. Here, I think you should just go here. If you're going to respond at all, you would go there. Otherwise, you would do something like this. Here, you also wouldn't respond. You would definitely do something like this, and stuff like this loses a lot of points because there isn't anything here, and moves like this are very, very big. This also comes to the thing of like, just because I do a move doesn't mean you have to respond to it. And like when you get into the SDKs, when you want to move up to the SDKs, you have to practice like not responding to your opponent's moves. That's how you move up on the SDK ranks. I don't really know what I would do here. Like one of these is going to die. Not really sure. I'm going to do that just because it's probably Sente. And although like you don't have to, like this stone isn't very big, so it might just be better for black to go ahead and do this. I mean, that's fine. There's very few points there, so that's fine for black if white gets that. So he connects this. I'm going to go out this way, come out here just to see what he does. Right here, I probably just shouldn't have responded or blocked. One of those two. That is, so I know this looks like it's taking away more points, but realistically, this is better. This gets more eye shape, and you can just kind of do this or do something because like this is definitely alive if you just do that. Because there's like an eye over here if I try to kill you. It's okay for me because now I can kill those two. Extend down here. I would probably just connect. I don't think I can kill this. If I disconnect here, hang on, let me check. If I oh no, maybe I can kill it if I do that. Yeah, I can kill it actually. That doesn't actually work. So he blocks that way. Now I can't kill it, but I do get to kill these three. So these three become extra points for me. Well, no, you can do this, I guess. And you can actually rescue those three. So he should have actually done that because that's actually worth a lot of points. Also, like, yeah, the corner is worth a lot of points. This is a gote, so you really don't want to do that. That's just a test to see. That's basically just testing. Black can also do this because even if white connects back out, black can just kill this, and there's really nothing white can do here. So basically, like I'm testing his response. If he responds, you don't need to respond to this, but he did. So I'm going to do that. There's still this move. Like that was there for a long time. Extending this way, I mean that's always going to be the best move here. Wait, hang on. I think after I did that, I don't know if this works anymore. Oh, yeah, it does, because you can still come across this way. So it still does. After I do this, though, like that's no longer an option. You would connect this over this because there's more points down here. The rest of it is finishing up. But, like, the rest of it is actually finishing up. But, like, just a lot of, like, how... A lot of this game boils down to, like, how would you actually attack white in certain situations? How would you actually attack white in certain situations? Like, how to split his two groups and attack both weak groups. When to be, like, when you don't really have to be afraid that your group's going to die, like down here. and how to like, and a lot of this, honestly, like if there's one thing you want to take away from this game is like when to double Hane and when to not double Hane. Like you have to be able to read cuts better. If you just work on reading cuts better, like I think like your game would improve a lot. It would help you win a lot of games if you just learn how to like read cuts and consecutive cuts better. Because like there was a big thing here and a big thing here. Yeah, so like just work on reading cuts. Like when you actually have to respond, when you don't have to respond, when you can take advantage of people, and when you can't actually take advantage of people on these like double cuts and stuff. Because like there was also a double cut thing here, like I said. Like when I play DDKs on these huge handicap games, I leave those things there on purpose. Like it's not like I can't see them, but because I'm giving you a 90-point handicap, I have to depend on the fact that you can't actually see them for me to win. And most of the times it works. But when it doesn't work, I don't win. And that's true for regular games for you guys too, because when I watch DDKs play, generally they leave a lot of those double cuts there because they can't see them. But if you can see them, then you're going to be better than them. So that's like a big teaching point to these games. Like know when the double cuts are there, know when the double Ataris are there, and know how to read those situations. It just takes practice and experience. All right, I'm going to play another game. I am going to play another game. Anyone can accept. Anyone can actually accept. 4 to 14Q. I might actually look at some like beginner tutorials and stuff like that later on. I might do a couple. Just on my channel to like, just for beginners, because like the double cuts and the double Ataris are actually really important. If you can read them, you can probably get out of the DDK range if you can actually read them. Very, very important to be able to read those things. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to see if anyone accepts. It is 4 to 14K. The game is down here. All right, there we go. 11K. I'm going to pass a couple times for handicap 7. I think the handicap games people enjoy watching a little bit more because they're more entertaining. They're more entertaining for one, and the other side actually has a better chance a chance of winning. If I play people evenly, unless they're using AI, they don't really have any chance of winning. But I'm always going to approach the open side or the open corner. But in a handicap 7, you do actually have a chance of winning. I think I'm just going to go with a standard here. I usually don't, because I do need to get a jump. Like I don't want to give him like a free, like kind of like a free ride on the corner, or like a sente on the corner here. I think the kick is kind of becoming a favorite. In terms of response to my approaches, because the kick does give you some territory. Like I said, I'm more than willing to trade influence for territory on these type of games. That's not a good move. There's no territory over here because I can still P18 here. See, he's playing different from the last guy because he's basically just trying to get some, because I don't have much territory. He's just trying to get like some territory so I don't have enough at the end of the game, which is actually a really, really smart way to play in these handicap games. See if he responds right to this one. Nope. Interesting. I think I'm just going to do that. I already have the stick head out thing here, so I'm not really that afraid of that. I live in Wisconsin. There is still a little bit of stuff here. I think I'm going to do this first. I'm still worried about these two here, of course. I'm worried about these two here, so that's why I'm doing this. Probably not the best move in the world, but definitely a little bit worried about that. I'm giving him too many free moves to solidify his side. That's not necessarily a good move right now because it doesn't really threaten me anymore. Okay, so taking a look at the situation here, he has a big piece of territory here. I want to break up his possible territory. And I think the best move here would actually just be cover over on 06, 015, and I don't know if I would actually respond to that. Probably wouldn't, actually, if I think about it. I should have probably played this first. Like, probably play this sometime. Yep. It's probably the correct response. I have to break into his territory somehow. I don't want to do this first because I don't want to give him Sente and have him get another move to solidify this territory here. This is fine. Actually, that probably wasn't the best move. Getting... Ooh, there's a lot of problems with that move that I just did. It's one of them. It's actually forcing me to give up a lot, which I don't like. Because now this is very problematic. This is so weak for me right now. That's what happens when you give like super high handicap games. Every single one of your groups becomes like super, super weak. And you like legit just depend on your fighting skill to essentially like be better than the other player's fighting skill in order for you to actually win. It's generally not a great determination, but whatever. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. I think this will work. Like, this group down here may just have to be sacrificed, unfortunately, if he knows how to kill it, which he might. He can't connect this, by the way. Ah, smart. Very, very good. Trying to do that, if I connect, I can make a lot of use for this, so I'm just going to take this stone. This group is kind of weak down here too, so I'm trying to take all these advantages. But this is like super weak down here. It's also the right move for this, because this is actually becoming really, really weak. The way I'm playing is incredibly problematic against a player of like similar strength. I'm trying to pick up on his inexperience to actually like that move. Honestly, is not that important, so I'm gonna go ahead and ignore it for right now. I should actually fix my problems down here. See, like, those stones don't end up being all that much, so... But I am making these stones down here incredibly weak, unfortunately. And actually, like, these stones down here are pretty much dead. Game is not going well for me right now, to say the least. That is not something you actually want to do, though. I fix one problem at a time. It's fine. He's definitely just focusing on like making a lot of territory. So I don't have enough, and it's actually working pretty well because I don't really have any territory right now. Definitely don't really have any territory right now. This is dead, by the ways. If he plays right, that this is actually dead, but we'll see. Actually, no, it's dead regardless of how he plays. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, it's dead. I'm really trying to kind of like poke around down here. He's playing better than most 11 Qs at this point, obviously. So I'm trying to poke around down here to see if I can actually get anything out of this, which I don't know if I can or not. This group is still very much in danger here. I'm trading the side for the corner. I think the corner is now alive. Oh, no, it's not. But I can do this, though. This is putting this in danger again, but we'll see. This isn't completely clean because I have this move later on. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. I'm gonna do this as well. This is very, very big right now. I still don't have enough territory, by the ways, but kind of have to play this way right now. He's trying to kill this group. I don't think he can. Let me see if he can do it. You don't Atari either of those ways. If he extends, you have to double Atari. So that's why you do it this way. I don't really understand that move. I think I should take this just for the eye. That I don't want to, like, it's really dangerous to do this right now, but I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. Because I kind of need to do that. Remember, like, this group is very weak as well. I have a lot of weak groups. I can just live by playing this, so I'm not really that afraid. Being like incredibly greedy right now. But it actually may work out for me. I'm going to be so greedy that I'm going to do this right now. And then wait to see if he knows how to make a kill move here, which he might actually. He definitely might. Because at this point, this group is not that hard to kill. This introduces a lot of problems if he actually plays M18. He didn't, so that's fine. Okay, so this group is still like dead. Unless I play here, which I'm pretty sure just makes it alive. I'll do something about this later. I'm not really too concerned about this right now. I don't think you really need to answer that one, but I'm going to go ahead and connect. This is not that many points, so it's okay. This is pretty big. I'm going to go ahead and Atari this right now. And then come out this way. Oh wait, that doesn't really help me, does it? Oh, you would never do that. Just take this. Or not. This is really big, actually, here. Can't really have him take those stones. Q18 is also very big. He has a lot of territory here, so I don't actually think I won this game. This is a very big piece of territory here. And he has like territory otherwhere as well. He played in a really conservative manner, which makes it very hard for me to win. Because I don't have any large groups of territory. He might be able to kill me here, actually. No, he can't. I don't think he can. That I don't think I'm going to answer. Actually, taking that might be the best. Just taking that just solves all the problems there. So it's worth it. It's worth it just to do that, just to solve all the issues. Yeah, this has to be done. I'm just going to connect. This is pretty big. I'm pretty sure he's winning. I mean, this is too big. It's way too big. And he also has a lot of points elsewhere as well, as the other thing. I don't really have that many points this time around. Didn't really get the chance to make too many points here. Didn't really get the chance to make too many points. I can't do that. Yep, has to connect that. The thing is, like, he didn't make any like really, really big mistakes in this game. He made a couple of small ones, but I mean, he made mistakes, of course, but he didn't make any like gigantic, like whoopsie mistakes, like game-breaking mistakes in this game. Because like, there's still a lot of points here. There's a lot of points here, and I just don't think I have the points to actually offset that. It's a weird way to do that because I can just do this, and he can't give up those two. I think I let him like separate me too much. I actually do think I let him separate too much in the beginning. And since I actually did that, it's hard for me to get everything back. I don't know. Let's block. There's too many points here as well. Probably lost by like 10 or 15 at least in this one. Maybe I'm counting wrong, but I don't think so this time. He didn't have to do anything with that one. There's nothing there. No, I think I'm just going to resign this game because I don't really want to play out the end game. He's Oh, I'm actually winning. Okay, never mind. I should really count these games. Like it's not it's not it's not it's not a ranked game, and I didn't really want to spend like 20 minutes playing 10 minutes playing the end because it really doesn't matter at this point. Like the point of it is teaching. So even though I am actually ahead here, pretty much by the Comey, it doesn't. It's that's not the purpose of the game. So yeah, I was winning. I didn't actually count. Like in an actual game, in a rated game, I wouldn't have surrendered there because I didn't actually. In a rated game, I wouldn't have actually surrendered there because I would have just played it out. It was close enough for me to play out. I thought I was a little bit behind, but I would have at least counted in an actual game. But this here is fine. This is also good. This is fine. I usually would not play this. It's damaging by a couple points. Not a big deal though. Playing this is not a good invasion. I'm just trying to see what I can actually do. This you would probably just connect this down here. There's a lot of solid points in the corner. As far as this goes, this is fine. There's very little way for white to get out of this. I would definitely connect this here instead of this one here. Then here, go here. I'm going to take the advantage here. It's fine. This side, I don't really know what I would do with this. There is a justification for doing this. I don't think it's that great right now because black can actually come out this way, right? Because if white does that, black can just come out. So that would be incredibly problematic for white. So I'm not saying you should do this, but think about doing this. It is a move that you can actually think about. You know, like you can just do that as well. I don't think it's, I would definitely do this and then maybe do this, but that's probably not too great for black, but it's also not great for white because white's still under attack right now. So I would think about doing this to see if this actually works. But, you know, if you want to take the safer route, I think this is okay as well. Or you could just do this as well because this just presents a lot of problems for white. If white plays this way. So, sorry. So realistically, like I think this move is probably better than this move. This move is not necessary. It's not that threatening to white right now. I feel like here, I don't really know what the biggest move would be. Maybe just playing this because if white does this, then you know this is really big. This is pretty big up here. So I might just opt to play that. If white plays this, you can play this, and then white has to figure out a way to live in here. So maybe that. Maybe instead of this, you play this because this group is pretty weak as well. Or you could just even do that to solidify this territory here. But either way, that move is unnecessary. It's not a good move. You could do this, but I can actually go here. I don't actually think this is a terrible answer. I think it's fine. I'm not going to answer that because I'm not going to do this right now because that's gote for me, and that gives you this territory here. So I'm definitely not going to do that right now. Invade here. This is fine. This is better. For the two cutting methods, this cut is okay, but I do think this cut is better. Invading here, just do this. this is like I know you're trying to separate the stone, but realistically, like if you look at the situation, this stone is weak, these stones are weak. So just do this. These stones are like really, really weak now. And I know what you're thinking. Like I can destroy this territory in here, but it doesn't really matter if I destroy this territory in here. If you can basically, if you can like realistically kill like the rest of this or get this, you're probably going to win. So I would just go ahead and play this, cut off these stones for sure. I am basically sacking this group down here, more or less. Take that. Here, I mean, like this is the obvious move. But if you do this, like white does have this later, which I played later. Here, the thing is, if you, I feel like, I mean, that actually might be the best thing to do here. I don't know. Because I don't really like, if white just connects here, then, I mean, yeah, he destroys your center territory, but you can just get all this territory here and you can still win because there's no way white has enough territory at this point. So, or you can just go ahead and overall attack this group. Because even if this group's connected, I don't have two eyes. I play that in there. That's probably not. I don't even know if that's worth answering. This is the. I think, like that. I'm not really sure worth answering. You can play this as well, and then just try to kill this group. This group is pretty dead at this point, actually. I mean, maybe not, but you know, I mean, like there's too many weak groups for white to actually deal with here. I mean, once I play this move becomes a lot less important because white's essentially alive. White's more or less alive. So yeah, that doesn't really work. This stone isn't really that important. So white's kind of alive here. Well, he's not really alive, but I mean, white definitely has options here, and it's much harder to kill him once he actually gets his Hane. It's still definitely possible to kill him. If I don't respond to this, you have options to try to kill me, but it's much harder to kill white in this kind of configuration. That's why I'm going to do this first. Go here, connect. I could have just done this right away, but if I do this and you cut here, then, like this is a big problem for me, so I couldn't actually do that. So I connected here, come here, gonna go here, immediate Atari, and then I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this and kind of try to secure this group. Squeeze this, and then invade this corner. This is the correct move. I actually don't know. I don't think this works. I feel like if you just... oh, no, actually that doesn't. Stand downward. I know that's the wrong move. I don't know exact... Because if I do this... so there isn't actually an eye here. So Not really sure how this works, but then this would actually be alive. But here's the thing, like this is actually okay. This result I think is actually okay for black, even though I got the bottom territory. Actually, no, this isn't actually okay. This is still dead. Tari. Yeah, this is actually still dead. So I think you can I think you can just let me connect and then just do this. This is dead either way. I don't. There is this though, so it is kind of troublesome. But I think in the end it's probably I think in the end it's probably dead. Maybe not, because there's problems with this. I don't know. It's a pretty big fight over here. Oh wait, no. Oh, never mind, because you can just block this. Never mind. Yeah, it is dead. It is still dead. So it's actually dead. So yeah, like just because I connect these two groups doesn't necessarily mean it's alive. So extending down was definitely a big mistake here. This is one of those this is definitely one of those life and death things that people that you kind of need to recognize. You did not need to do this. You should have probably just focused on like killing this group or something. If you extend this out, it's very, very hard for white to actually live here if you extend this out. Like the biggest, like I'm trying to take advantages, but like realistically the biggest move is the biggest move is extending this out, because this group is pretty much dead if you do that. Especially since you did this. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Obviously, you can't do that. So there's at least one eye here. I really want to kill this guy, but like there's at least one eye here now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is dead. I would definitely try to make two eyes here or something. I definitely try to make two eyes, but I don't think it's going to be that successful. This is definitely dead at this point. This was the key move. Like, this is a key killing move at P9. Like, the rest of these things we were actually playing were just kind of like, were just me like trying to take some advantage before I actually played P9. Like, if you play P9 at any time, I think I'm pretty much dead. Like, I would try over here, but I don't think it would work. So I'm just going to go ahead and play P9. As you can see, like, once we exchange, like, this was plus 70. And now since you exchange this for this is now plus 24. So there was a 50-point swap there. Like, P9 was the critical killing move. Tari, this is a mistake. You should definitely connect this. I would only be able to do extend out this way. You can't kill me because of the. I don't think you can. You might be able to. Yeah, you probably can actually. Now that I think about it, no, I can do. Be something like that, but yeah, that was definitely a mistake. You definitely need to connect that one. So I'm gonna take this. Tari, you should probably take this first. You can do this at any time. That's also really big because if you play down here, I can't cut. And I don't know if this really works or not. Yeah, it does. I can connect those, but it's gote. So I think this is pretty big. Tari here, here, take the stone. So connecting this stone is actually fairly large as well. There's a lot of cuts down here. I would have to probably play this. Connect, go down this way. This is not a, like, since the game is really close right now, this is actually important because this is gote. Obviously, if I play this, you can't play here because, you know, I have this. You can opt a ko here, but it's definitely not a ko you want to fight. And there's another double ko here, so you definitely don't want to do that. Then that's probably the wrong way to squeeze, but yeah. Like, you're still slightly ahead here, but you're giving up a lot of these sentes, and as you can see, as you give up a lot of these sentes, white starts pulling ahead. So you need to be very careful about giving up sentes when you're in the late game. Like another 12Q, 11Q player won't be able to take advantage of this, but the thing is, like, if you can take advantage of the other player, like, you can actually win really close games. And that's part of the improvement, just like the end game sentes that you see that you can take advantage of. But yeah, like the critical move in this game is this kill move here. Like, when you're attacking a group, you got to know what the critical move is actually to kill the group. Because if you are attacking him on the outside and you just let him make 2 eyes, then, you know, obviously all that attack is for nothing. So that's kind of like, that's the lesson for this. You did actually play pretty well for most of the game. The critical kill move you missed here. And of course, like, you know, when I had a bunch of scattered groups, you can just pick one to attack, like critical moves where you cut 2 groups and stuff like that. So, you know, just like work on finding the critical points in attacking people's groups, because overall in this game, you actually play pretty well in separating all my groups, not making any like catastrophic mistakes. But, you know, there are going to be things like, you know, if I do this, you should probably just play this. And, you know, just like surround your territory, make sure I really can't do anything. And, like, you know, where to actually cut off 2 groups, how to take advantage of like smaller groups. I think, like, you know, like, in these handicap games, you have to remember, in these handicap games, you have a lot of thickness, and you have to know how to use that thickness to actually take advantage of white. Because you have a lot of extra stones on the board, but you play pretty conservatively this game, but that does actually work in a handicap game. It forces me to actually take the initiative and take action. So, like, I can't just wait for the game to come to me since you're playing conservative, because I'm never going to win that way. So it forces me to actually, like, try to do things to make mistakes. But, you know, like, just knowing like how the direction of the game actually goes, knowing like the direction of attack. Like here you're trying to separate out all of this, but, you know, like, realistically, if you just want to kill these 5 stones, this is going to be a lot better. And if like white responds, then you have the option to take back over here. So, and you do have to realize like which groups are really weak and which groups are alive and which groups are dead. Like this group down here, if I don't do anything, is very, very weak. I don't have 2 eyes here. You can just easily do this. And sacking the corner to get the side is sacking, like, especially once you have this move, like sacking the corner to get the side is definitely like something you can actually think about. And before I had this move, like even way back here, before I had this move, like you can actually just do this. And if I decide to go here, then you can come out this way. Now these 2 stones are cut off. So those are considerations that you need to do, like knowing like certain trade-offs, like knowing how to play these certain shapes in the corner. This like a lot of players like a lot of weaker players like to play this kick. And it's actually a good move, but you need to know how to respond to certain white invasions in the corner. So spend a little bit of time like figuring this stuff out. And once you do, like these handicap games will be a lot harder for like someone like me, and also like in even games when people try to invade, you can take advantage of them while they're trying to invade. So that's going to be the lesson for today. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. I will be back hopefully tomorrow, and I will see you guys later.